Welcome back, and it's that time of the year when the city of Cape Town is transformed with glittering colourful uniforms as the Cape Town Street Parade, known as the Tweede Nuwe Jaar event, kickstarts 2025 New Year. Now, this cultural and traditional event goes back to the 19th century and will see over 20,000 performers from 18 minstrel troupes parade starting in District 6 to the Bo-Kaap. To tell us more about the Annual Kaapse Klopse Competitions and the Cape Town Street Parade, we joined virtually by Muneeb Gambeno, the director of the Kaapse Klopse Karnival Association. Mr. Gambeno, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live and Happy New Year.
Good morning, Simpiwe. Thank you very much for having me, and a Happy New Year to you and your viewers.
Thank you so much for that. Now, this festival is known to many as the Tweede Nuwe Jaar Carnival. The Cape Town Street Carnival is one of the most anticipated events to kickstart a year. So just take us back a bit where the history of this particular festival is and how it started.
Thank you, Simpiwe. In fact, in recent years, it's known as the Hollywood Bets Cape Town Street Parade and competition events. And the event, look, the tradition really started at the very beginning of the Cape Colony, where, as we all know, the Dutch colonized the Cape and brought slaves from West Africa, from the Indian Ocean archipelago, from Southeast Asia, and they all settled here at the Cape. And what we then had was a creolization of music, or musical traditions, and of languages, which led, of course, to the type of Afrikaans, or the version of Afrikaans that we speak at the Cape. And that then evolves into an expression of this particular tradition, informal manner, in that communities around the Bo-Kaap, around what was known as the dock cottages or the waterfront areas as we now see it, and also in the old District 6. They used to go and visit each other's homes and express themselves in song and dance during this period of the start of the new year. And they formalized their associations in the form of clubs, or clubs, community clubs really. We then see the abolition of slavery, and suddenly these clubs are becoming a bit more formalized. From 1907, the city of Cape Town, together with the various community clubs, decide to formalize the carnival, and that's when we have our first Kaapse Klopse competition event and street parade from the middle of, or the CBD of Cape Town as we now know it, to the old Greenpoint track or the Greenpoint Cricket Club. That's where the first competition really started. So this tradition and this parade, as we see it now, is approximately 117 years old. And today we kick off with our competition events, and on Saturday we will have another big street parade in Cape Town.
And it's set to attract thousands of spectators, 18 minstrel troupes and 20,000 performers. So when do the preparations begin, really?
Look, it's a year-round activity for various reasons. Firstly, the carnival has grown to such an extent that you simply cannot afford to start preparing a month or two before the time. That's the one part of it. It's a massive logistical effort on our part and on the part of our stakeholders and partners, and of course the troupe owners. But more importantly, the carnival plays a huge role in terms of driving all the good things, social cohesion, socio-economic development, particularly on the Cape Flats. We have industry that has developed around the Hollywood Bets Cape Town Street Parade, and that industry includes seamstresses, manufacturers of ancillary products that we need for our costumes, the transport industry, the catering industry, and so forth. And then also it keeps our kids occupied with something that is positive, and it keeps them away from the scourges that we're experiencing on the Cape Flats, like drugs, gangsterism, and so forth and so on.
I would imagine it is a logistical headache, just given the scale of this festival. So let's talk about which roads will be closed around the city of Cape Town for those living around those areas.
So the traffic advisory signs have been out for the last week. Roads close on Friday evening, or rather Saturday morning, at approximately 5 o'clock, I think. I stand to be corrected on that one. But the public should follow the traffic advisory services in and around the CBD, of course, and in and around the route from the old District 6 into the Bo-Kaap area. That, of course, becomes a complete no-go zone in terms of road closures and so forth. But together with the City of Cape Town and the traffic authorities, we've got it all under control and planned. And the public of Cape Town should feel comfortable enough that they will be able to reach their various other destinations. I would, of course, urge them to come down to the Hollywood Bets Cape Town Street Parade and be part of the event on Saturday and not go to the beaches or anywhere else.
And the carnival is known for its vibrancy. So how do you ensure that the carnival remains true to its roots, while still keeping it fresh and exciting for the newer and the younger generations?
So we have a very distinct beat that drives our carnival, and that's the Guma beat that we've all learned to love over the many decades. This Guma beat is to be found in music that was espoused and presented to the world by guys like Abdullah Ibrahim, Basil Manenberg could see, Jonathan Butler, and many others. And of course, we retain the authenticity of that Guma beat, even though these troupes of ours have grown in size, and even though there's been some sort of evolution in the music, and there's an overlay of American street band type of sounds to it, but that fundamentally that Guma beat drives us. And in order to secure the sustainability, our youngsters, and we send them off to musical institutions to not only be educated in formal music or to get formal training in music, but to also expose their peers to this Guma beat, and hopefully, as we had before, there's further creolization and further evolution to our music. But certainly this music has carried us for a couple of centuries, and I see it carrying us into the future for many more decades and centuries.
Well, no doubt the carnival is a beloved community event. I mean, you just advise people not to go to the beach, at least for the next couple of days, and attend this spectacle. So how do you ensure then that local communities and performers feel included and represented?
This is a local tradition and a local festival that we're trying to open up, and we've always tried that, to open it up to the rest of South Africa and the rest of the world, really. So the question of inclusion is certainly not in question. In fact, there's a big focus in our country on localization and local content in things, and this is one of the best examples of localization and local content. Our ambition, though, was to attract people from other communities to the carnival, and that's why I said earlier on, the public who find themselves in Cape Town or are on their way to Cape Town should really make an effort to come and experience this carnival. This is the biggest cultural festival on the African continent. There is nothing like this, not in South Africa, not on the rest of the continent, and in fact it's very unique globally, even though it's a Creole carnival like the ones you find in Notting Hill and some carnivals in Ghana and, of course, in Rio de Janeiro. But as South Africans, my attitude and our attitude as the Kaapse Klopse Karnival Association and as a broader grouping of Klopse fraternity members is that every South African should experience this carnival at least once in their lifetime. So please, come and experience it. It's a free event, and it's a massive spectacle.
Mr. Gambeno, as a director of the festival, what's the most fulfilling part of your role in bringing the Tweede Nuwe Jaar festival, to life each and every year?
That's a good question that you're asking me. I was sitting with that very thought earlier on. So firstly, I grew up in the carnival, and I come from a community in Mitchell's Plain, and this was the only thing that kept me going over the holidays. My mother was a factory worker, and this was what I looked forward to, to participating at the end of the year. This was my holiday, and just yesterday I was in Heideveld at one of the club rooms, and there were dozens of youngsters sitting around, girls and boys. And I looked at them and I thought how sad it is that these girls and boys can't be at the beaches and at enjoying themselves at swimming pools and so forth. And I stood there with a heavy heart, of course, but I also felt a sense of happiness at the same time, in that I, together with the other leaders and together with the club owners, can deliver this carnival to the people of Cape Town and these communities, and that they can find meaning during this time and positivity when there's very little else that is on offer to them and for them. So perhaps not a sense of achievement, but certainly a sense of comfort that we can contribute in this way.
Yeah.
And the carnival really, in all its senses, is representative of every aspect of South African society, the things we struggle with, poverty, ambition, affirmation that we all seek, and so forth. And this carnival provides that to thousands of people on the Cape Flats.
All right, Mr. Gambeno, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and all the best in planning this festival.
Thank you very much, Simpiwe.
Thank you. Have a great one. Well, that is Muneeb Gambeno, the director of the Kaapse Klopse Karnival Association, the KKKA, talking to us about what we can expect on the Cape Town Street Carnival.